the ACS this weekend, and it was a lot of fun. Ended up doing all right. I was pretty happy with how I played for the most part. I have all those replays here, so we'll go over that in just a second. Let's go ahead and start up some StarCraft. I guess first we can look at the brackets and stuff and go over that, kind of explain what it was like. So anyways, basically Saturday and Sunday were the tournaments. Saturday morning I got up at like 5:30 a.m., hopped on a train, went down to Busan, which is the second biggest city in Korea. Great city. Went down there, played the tournament. Let's take a look at the brackets first. Okay, so the AfreecaTV Challengers Starleague. For anyone who doesn't know what this is technically an amateur tournament. If you have not been in the round of 16 of ASL or KSL, then you are allowed to play. Here are some of the things that they picked out on Wikipedia as notable participants of this tournament. I don't know why it has American flags next to these two. They are certainly Korean. I was the only non-Korean to play in these two tournaments. Okay, so first off, okay, let's look at my group. I guess you can see the finals. It shows here was Daegu against Yoon. For anyone who forgets, I won a couple rounds in Gwangju last week and lost to Daegu, who got the finals. So I just switched over. This is the Gwangju qualifier page. Daegu lost in the finals to Bishop at that one. And you can see here I beat a couple Zergs, lost to Daegu in the round of 4. So he came back with a vengeance in Busan and ended up winning it over Yoon, who, by the way, got top 4 in Seoul. So Yoon actually he made top 4 in every tournament. So you see he lost here to Cali, who actually ended up getting disqualified. For anyone who doesn't know about that, I guess on stream he was looking at an illegal gambling site, I believe is what happened. So he's banned from AfreecaTV stuff, I guess. So Spire will actually be taking his spot because Spire made it to the finals. But poor Yoon, there he is, top 4. Then obviously we had Daegu lose to Bishop and Gwangju. Those were both last week. That video is, I'll have that up on YouTube, of going over those replays. So here this week, it was Yoon versus Daegu in the finals of Busan. So I was in Group B. Let's take a look at that. Okay, where am I? There I am. Okay. So this was a Protoss and this was a Protoss. So I went 2-0 against a Protoss, 2-1 against a Protoss. We'll be going over all those games. And then I lost to Yoon 2-0. I didn't play perfectly in the Yoon games, but like I felt how strong he was. I didn't check the IDs of anyone before playing this week. I wanted to try that out and just check it out later, so I didn't psych myself out. People that are like really involved in Brood War know who Yoon is. He's very, very strong. But when I played him, even though I made some mistakes in the games, it was a very good learning experience because he was so strong that even if I had played my best, I would have died. Like, he was much better than me. And we'll look at those replays. I actually learned a lot from playing Yoon. It's very useful to try to play your normal style against someone much better than you, because they will show you what's wrong with it. So this was my bracket, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in there and take a look at what those games look like for me. All right. Second. Alright, Busan, there it is. Cool. Let's do it. Let's take a look-see. Okay, what's up, buddy? Wish you had come down. I hope you come to the ASL calls at least. It was a lot of fun. Rapid came with me to these qualifiers, so got to hang out with him a whole bunch. All right, so here it is. Here is my round 1. Again, I didn't check before any of the games who these people were or anything. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the ASL qualifiers. I feel like I'm improving a good amount right now, so I'm quite excited. Okay, so here I am up here. 11 o'clock group Dan against this Protoss player down here. So anyways, we'll go through it a little bit quickly. This game is not that interesting. Mine says 11 o'clock B. So 2 groups start like each hour. So I was in the 11 o'clock starting group, group B. So you normally make your group your name, because this is played on LAN, because the technology was there back then. Not anymore, of course. But yeah, it's like you can either put Bijo or you can put, you know, time in B, whatever. It just helps because everyone creates the games, and so the UDP lobby, the offline LAN lobby, is like really full. Okay, so I scouted Protoss first. I looked at the situation, and I decided very quickly that I was going to 2-fact. This was just, everything was ripe for it. It looked right to me. And I think opening up a tournament aggressively is not a bad choice. A lot of people play a bit nervously in tournaments. So yeah, you can see just a pretty normally timed Nexus, 3 pylons into the Nexus. I'm hiding my Marine count. I pop down. It's important to do that pop down right there, where you're coming down with the tank to try to make it look like you're making a Nexus. But truthfully, at that point, nothing's going to change. For a long time, this is something I learned just recently about my 2-facts. Sometimes I would keep the tank down here to try to keep up the thought that there might be a command center on the way. But truthfully, there's no time to react anymore, right? My 2 tanks are going to pop. You see, right? So a tank takes, what, like 32 seconds to build? So I'm literally leaving my base in like 15 seconds. So anyways, I popped it back up the ramp. Sometimes I was losing the first tank trying to fake having an expansion up. Alright. So I do my standard, bring 2 SCVs. That is a huge amount of Marines I have with it. And of course I'm going... Oh, this is another thing I changed with my 2-fact recently. Because, so what... I changed my build, like, I had a couple days where I fell really low on the ladder. And so I just started 2-facting a lot on stream, and I was taking notes on it and making spreadsheets to try to figure out my 2-fact build a bit better. And eventually I got it way better. But it's really gaslight, so the upgrades you can't start at the same time. My older build would have less SCVs and less Marines in it, but I could start both these upgrades more quickly. Now, Mines takes 50 seconds, and Speed takes 63 seconds. So, generally you want to start Speed first, but Mines is actually more important for the push. So for a long time I was doing, with my new 2-fact build, I was doing Speed first, and then Mines, but the Mines weren't finishing until I was already losing like 2 Vultures, because Mines would finish when I'm actually here. So I've already been battling for a little bit, right? Because the battle starts here normally, and then you battle in. So now, the one thing I switched was starting Mines first, which is actually, I feel it's much, 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 much stronger now. So this Protoss is trying to slow me down a little bit, keep all my, you know, pick off units on the way, but I did get a goon there. I had a ton of Marines for this push, so it's a lot of buffering. Now here I actually took a second and rearranged, got my Marines more into the front. I don't know why my Vulture's up there, but here it comes. I gotta pull the tanks back, yeah. So this is going absurdly well for me. You know, you have 2 choices here as Protoss to either run up your ramp with everything or to battle for the Nexus. And I think it's about 50-50 what people do against me. Sometimes they battle, sometimes they don't. But at that point, obviously, you've lost so much that you're dead. Okay, so I picked up that first quick victory. Now, one of the problems with opening with a build like that is sometimes it's very hard to gauge how good your opponent is. So I was not sure how strong this player was. You can even look, what info do I have here, right? 251 APM. Okay, so like that's plenty of speed. This could be a very strong player. It could be a very weak player. Just because, like, the conditions were ripe for my build, and I'm quite good at the build, so yeah, it was hard for me to gauge the strength of this player. But game 2, we'll be able to gauge the strength very, very clearly. Okay, so ACS Busan, round 1, game 2. Okay. Venomous, what's up, my man? You ask, serious question, did the other people at the tournament know your pro gamer history as an old school macro Terran? No. No. Very few people know anything about what I've competed out here, as far as Koreans go. Maybe 2 or 3 people might know that I've known for a long time. I'm not even sure that they would remember, because no one really cares. Yeah. People never remember the 2004 and 2006 North American representative or whatever. Okay. So, but a lot of the players now are starting to know me because I go to like basically every tournament and play, and I'm slowly but surely getting some better results. So some of them are starting to know me a little bit. Okay, so this map. This map I'm not comfortable on. Whiteout. I don't know the map that well. It doesn't feel very good to me. My initial thought was that I would probably be 2-facting on this map a lot, but after 2-facting game 1, I didn't want to pull out the same build again, because it is very, 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 very common in tournaments for players to just blindly counter what beats them in game 1. That is just a very normal play. So I wanted to avoid doing that build order. This game, by the way, I'm going to warn you ahead of time. This is going to be one of the craziest games you've ever seen in your whole life. This is a crazy game. You're really not even gonna believe it. Like, remember the Ghost game from my Ghosts against Zerg in Gwangju? This game's crazier than that. It's truly wild. Oh god. Okay. So my SCV gets in. It looks normal. I mean, there's nothing to really speak of here, right? I was setting up my bunker at home, so I lost the SCV a little bit quicker than I should have. Look right there. That right there, my friends, is a Citadel of a Doom, and I just don't know about it. Now, you can do a rush like this. You can... If I kept my SCV alive, I would have been in better shape, but I sent it over here, and I kind of assumed the goon would follow, and I think I right-clicked on my mineral patches just to make it mineral walkthrough. Whatever it was, at the time that it died to that goon, I basically was switching from building the bunker to building the command center, so my attention went elsewhere. I lost the SCV. Okay. So, this situation, there hasn't been a whole lot of pressure. See, I do have a Vulture out, and I'm scouting around. I'm just kind of looking to see, is there like a proxy or anything? I didn't see a Nexus because I lost my SCV, but I did see 3 pylons, right? And that's really, really important. Because if there is something hidden, that's a very rare, weird thing, but, anyways, the Vulture has time to do things because I'm getting mines, right? This is a really good tactic that can be used, where if you're going for a bunker expand, you can make a vulture before your add-on, and you can get it out before there's 2 dragoons at your front. 2 dragoons at your front can catch the vulture before it gets away and kill it. So if you get it out before your add-on, you can basically just kind of run by. And you don't want to really do anything with... The thing is, okay, there's 2 choices of what you can do with the vulture. Okay? The vulture that you squeeze out, some players like to go and scout the Protoss with it. Now, if you choose to do that, it's okay. It's not a bad move. If you scout the Protoss with it, a lot of times, in fact, you can get like 3 probes, which is amazing, especially early on. You're going to see the Nexus. A lot of times you're going to see if they have an expansion up or something like that. Now, if you do that and you're getting mines, because sometimes I see pro gamers do this, where they send the vulture and they're getting mines, and there's no other vulture on the map, and it's like the mines don't do anything for you. They've just slowed everything else down. In this particular situation, I still wanted to play a somewhat aggressive game. So I was scouting the edges of the map just because I can, because I wasn't planning on throwing my vulture away, because I wanted to lay mines. Now, there's 2 places I'll lay the mines a lot of the time. One is behind goons that are pressuring my bunker. That's a very common way to do it. If nothing's pressuring, I'll just lay them over near the Protoss, maybe at the 3rd base. The possible 3rd base is, you know, over here, maybe in front of his choke. Just kind of see where he's at, right? You lay him. Maybe you slow a 3rd. Maybe you catch a goon. Whatever it is. So those are kind of the choices of what to do with that vulture. See, the vulture's just kind of checking everywhere. I'm like, okay, there's nothing proxied over here. That's fine, whatever. So here I'm just, you know, making tanks to push back the goon harassment. Here I'm trying to be very careful. 3 goons can 3 volley a tank, so you do have to be a bit careful about that. I don't mind losing a little bit of money repairing this, because I actually don't want his goons to run away yet, because I have this vulture that's going to come in and flank them with mines, right? So I actually kind of want the goons to stay. Yeah, this costs a lot of money to repair. I don't know if what I'm doing here is completely optimal, but see, I got my mines laid up, and now I can micro the tank a bit better. See, now I have 2 tanks. I'm like, okay, push them back. Oh. Well, I guess only one of them hit. But, you know, it's alright. Now I know that they're running away as well. Okay, so my vulture now... Yeah, right. Okay, so I right-click down into the natural with it at this point. See, I have a second fact on the way. I want to keep some pressure on him, getting some vulture speed and whatnot. Okay, so watch this. So I get here, and we're at over 6 minutes and the Nexus is not done. At this point, I'm like, oh, I'm dead. That's too bad. I've lost the game already. Get up into the main base. You see exactly what I expect, which is DTs walking out. You see I'm starting an engineering bay immediately. There's already 2 DTs at my base. This is an unwinnable situation. I almost GG'd right here. So here I'm just trying to buy some time to get vultures out to lay mines, to try to stop these, because it's like, if the DTs get in, I should just be dead. I should be dead anyways, but whatever. I'm like giving them sacrifices to get mines up. Oh, by the way, this is the most important thing I did right here, because I knew I was so dead when I saw that it was DT tech that I was like, okay, if by some fucking miracle I live through the DTs, I will be so far behind I need a comeback route, and a starport is literally the only thing that would ever have any chance of coming back from a situation like this. You basically are going to have to kill all the probes. Alright, so 2 DTs are in my main base. Goons are fucking killing everything in the natural. Things are not looking good. I'm trying to lay mines. I'm trying to build turrets. building one under the eBay. I'm trying to micro against the goons at the same time. Here I just sent a line of SCVs because they're just all dying here. So I'm like, okay, send them to the natural. They'll take less hits. I'm trying to preserve whatever SCVs I can and clear everything out. Alright, so I cleared that DT. I have 2 turrets up. So I'm down to 12 SCVs. Alright, 12 SCVs. Not looking too hot. Let's see what Protoss has. Natural's up. DT Tech, Robo on the way. Okay. Now, I almost GG'd like 4 or 5 times here. I did the thing where you like hit the enter button and you start to type GG, and then you go, I'm gonna stay in the game. Alright, so I have, yeah, I'm up to a healthy 13 SCVs right now at 8 minutes. Trying to build SCVs off too. I'm getting my add-on. Let's fast forward this a little bit. So like I said, building that starport was the most important thing I did, to throw that down right away, because it's like, you know that you're going to have to come back from something insane. So I'm like, alright, we're doing drops all game. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so notice I'm poking the front a little bit during this, right? I've sent all my units down, laid a couple mines, and I ran up and, like, you heard the goons fire, right? So, basically I want him to know that I'm here. See, Arbiter Tech is on the way. Here I'm just like, okay, let's lay mines everywhere. Kill as many pros as possible. Alright, so getting a little bit of damage done. Here I'm trying to hit multiple locations. There's like way too many zealots here, so that doesn't work. And still, I'm like just stretching my brain while I'm playing this game, trying to figure out if I were to come back, how would I do it, right? I killed a decent amount of probes there, so the probe count is not as overwhelming as it was. I'm still really, really far behind here, unfortunately. Look at the supplies, it's ridiculous. Alright, so I bring the siege tanks in now. I was starting to feel, by the way, that this opponent wasn't too strong, considering how much damage I'm doing with this. So here I thought about trying to run away as the goons came, but this is very choked up. 6 o'clock sucks. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's because of situations like this. This is very thin. I also have this tanking some shots to slow the goons down. See, they're on attack move. They're hitting a couple extra mines. So I did alright. Meanwhile, at home, I realize I don't have a barracks, so I can't build more factories. I start my barracks. And I'm still trying to think, how in the hell can I even win this game? So here's what I come up with. It's time to go bio, right? So there's another barracks. This one I think I lift up and send up there. There's my academy. Send my eBay up because I want to upgrade. So, yeah, it's a terrible situation. I've killed a good amount of probes, though, right? I've done a lot of harassment. I'm still trying to do harassment. You see my dropship's still flying around and everything. But yeah, so the thought to go bio, because I'm like, well, I just need to do insane things over and over and over if I am to somehow come back in this game. Because, like, there's such full tech for Protoss and everything. There's no way I can make a factory army that could ever win this game. So Good mine connects for me. Oh yeah, and also, I have these 2 turrets, which kind of zone out observers from getting to my barracks, so I figured I could conceal that I was doing this for a long time. And these were naturally made, too, so that's kind of like a consideration. It's not like suddenly I have a turret ring, like these were made to stop DTs, and now I'm going bio behind it and get my +1 armor. I like the +1 armor here. So recall comes in. I almost left the game here as well. Because there goes all my SCVs again. I really almost left this game like 9 times. So at this point, I'm like, well, this Protoss knows that I'm going for bio. That's not good. This is tough. I don't know what to do. So I'm just like, alright, I'll stay in the game still. Now, because it's a later stage of the game, and I'm going bio, what I thought was like, probably there will be Psystorm. So you can, like, Reavers are the real counter to bio, just so people realize this. Reavers are actually, bio can't do anything against Reavers. Reavers just flat, straight kill bio no matter what. You can't do anything, it's insane. Whereas EMP gives you some counterplay against High Templars. So there have been insane games that I've played where I'm against something like this, and they go High Templars, and I get enough EMPs off, and like somehow I can almost make it close. So that was kind of my thought process here, is to get some vessels. So that's why I'm getting my second gas here, even though I'm going bio. So I'm like, okay, I need to get that going. Oh yeah, here, I was, you know, obviously I'm far behind. I just killed an army, though. I know that the probe count has been reduced a bit, so I figured I could walk around a little bit. Of course, the army comes up, so I'm like, okay, get up a ramp. This goes really well for me. Look at the medic block there. It's not going to trade there very well. I actually had sent the dropship to go pick these units up, but then the army was attacking again, so I was like, okay, we'll just sit there, I guess. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm doing like marine medic drops like it's StarCraft 2. Killing anything I can. You see the worker count is getting a lot closer. Ah, yes. Okay, so hold on. Where's my dropship? Okay, so here, I sent out a dropship of Marine Medic. I figured I needed to know if there was bases on the left, and I thought that dropping here would be pretty strong, because you can just hit the edge of the mineral line. Again, 6 o'clock is a terrible position. So, let's go ahead and follow this. See, I fly over this place looking for a Nexus, no Nexus. No Nexus there. Then I see this Nexus, and I'm like, okay. But there are cannons here, right? So I'm like, okay, this player needs to misplay so many times, so let's see if we can get the Nexus anyways. DPS of Marines is pretty high. I right-click on the Nexus. And I get the Nexus. Alright. And then I send my dropship back, because I'm like, okay, nothing's coming. I guess I can still do my original plan. So here comes my drop in the main. There's a DT here, so it doesn't do as well. Oh yeah, I got that EMP off and I was like, okay, I'm gonna win now. Because I couldn't find any high Templars, there was no shuttle anymore. So I figured 1-1 stim bio with this many siege tanks should be fine. 12 tanks. Yeah, pretty good. It's more like a StarCraft 2 push, but whatever. It's kind of an insane win. I was pretty relieved to take that one back, since I almost left like a million times. Alright. After I won that one, Rapid showed me who it was. It was a girl playing over like 2 rows from me. But I don't think she's played in any of the professional women's tournaments or anything like that. Alright. We'll go into round 2 now. Round 2, I played against someone from Saren clan. For anyone who knows what that is, Saren is the team that Rain is on, like the clan that Rain is on. Let's see, round 2, game 1. All right. So here we go. This series is pretty good, I think. Okay, so I didn't have too many preconceived notions here. I was going to scout, see where my opponent was, see what they opened with, try to play against that reasonably well. So again, I got a first scout. And I'm sitting here waiting for the Zealot. It doesn't come. I'm looking at the situation. And I decide, you know what? This situation looks ripe for a 2-fact, to be honest. Positionally speaking, there's no real early pressure or anything like that, so I don't have to overbuild Marines. I thought, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. 2-fact. So there's my second fact going down. Oh, yeah. And the other thing that happened, actually, I believe that this guy scouted into my main, didn't see anything, then went down here, and then started to go back, and then realized, oh, crap, he's up here. That was a big consideration I had, because he didn't know what position I was in. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect situation for 2-fact. Because, like, the amount of intel he has is, like, just 0. It's 0, because he scouted me so late into that. Oh, wow, he actually went 2-gate. I had no idea. He went 2-gate before the Nexus. Wow. I hadn't watched this yet. That's crazy. Didn't really make that many units off it, though. 3 goons. Okay. Alright, so that was my little poke down that I normally do to try to fake having a build-in command center. Alright, now that was a very important moment right there. The way that I pulled back and rearranged. You have to have it arranged correctly. You need nothing behind the siege tanks so you can actually pull them back, because that's what they're going to try to snipe. Got my Marines and SCVs in the front in kind of a nice line. This guy's a little bit behind, but that's okay. Got my Vulture kind of off to the side so he can run in and lay mines. Here we go. There we go. Good mine right there. Good mine right there. Okay. Snipes one. Ooh, that killed both my SCVs. Sick mine right there. And there we go. That right there is normally GG. Ooh! Yeah, normally I don't go up the ramp, but I killed so many goons that I knew there was nothing up there. So yeah, that was a very quick game 1 once again. But of course that screws up my plans for game 2. Because originally Whiteout was like, let me just cheese on Whiteout because I don't know it well. Okay, Busan, round 2, game 2. What did I do this game? I actually don't remember. Played so much TVP over the weekend. Ah, yes, I think my plan was to just expand normally and, you know, do whatever. Now, again, I hate Whiteout. I hate this position. These are so in the way, but I wanted to make sure I didn't die to some Zealot pressure. Just a normal bunker expand. Get my Vulture out. I already kind of discussed from the last series what you can do with this Vulture. So he actually went the double gate again. Yeah, I hadn't realized. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this game, right? I'm not getting mines. That SCV went up and I didn't see the Nexus, and because I went 2-fact first game, it's always more likely that I'm going to get cheesed in the second game. And you saw that in the previous series where she went DT after I 2-factor game 1, because DT can be a good counter against 2-fact. So this game I actually decided, okay, I'm not going to get mines, just like I talked about previously, what you can do with this Vulture, and I decided instead to go scout with the Vulture. So we have some pressure on this bunker, and then the Vulture, I run up, barely gets the Nexus up, almost denied it. That would have been amazing. So I see that it's just 2 gates. So I get 3 probes. Not bad. Now, unfortunately down here, I over-repaired the bunker. This is something that's very common. Per Dragoon attacking a bunker, you need 1 SCV repairing. And it actually equals out. So if you have too little, the bunker will eventually die. If you have too many, the SCVs will stop repairing when it's at full health, and then you have to retell them to repair. So you should never have more. But I put 3 on it. I thought there was a 3rd goon because I saw 2 gates or something like that. I'm not sure. But when I was micro my Vulture, the bunker broke, which is terrible. I couldn't believe that he didn't dive in harder right there, but it was only 2 goons, so I guess it makes sense. Trying to get a bunker up again. So yeah, there's a lot going wrong in this game. Alright, so I end up holding it, but a lot went wrong. I lost a lot of mining time here. I'm building a turret that I don't need. My SCV count, I didn't lose that many SCVs from this, actually. I'm just not mining. He's getting his natural up about the same time. It looks like he's getting ready to take a 3rd. I hadn't watched this replay yet. If you go slow with siege mode, you shouldn't be losing siege tanks in this type of defensive situation. You just have to go slow. It's when you try to clear it too quickly that you start losing tanks. This looks like he just goes insta-3 Nexus. It's funny, I think I considered for a moment going bio here, but it's such a good Reaver map that I decided, like, I don't like going bio on this map. even as a cheese, just because Reaver's so strong here. The forest is so hilarious. Didn't get away that time. He did a good job following. So here I'm just setting up for... I'm trying to all in the guy. I'm setting up for 4 facts, right? I'm getting my vulture speed and stuff. Obviously his economy's getting pretty darn big. And he's going gateway man. His observer kind of saw what I was up to, so it makes sense. Alright, so the push starts going well. I actually was looking at this while I was playing, and I was thinking, you know what? I think I can win this game. Not an issue. And really looking at the supplies and everything, maybe I could have. I end up losing this one, but... Oh yeah, he gets a nice range right there. So I lose like 4 units right there. 2 tanks and like 2 vultures, I believe. It's painful. Yeah, I just barely can't quite stop this from pushing me out. The rest of this game is pretty straightforward. I'm in a really bad spot here, so I just kind of keep doing it. I'm like, alright, well, we're just going to rally and hope he runs into mines. There's no real comeback potential here for me. If you look at what I've got going on, I have like an armory. I know that he can tech up really freely because he has to have 3 bases right now. Yeah, I'm like adding more facts. I'm going more and more all in. I didn't feel like there was much comeback potential. I mean, I traded pretty well considering how much bigger his army was right there. Yeah, there's like nothing left here. I'm trying to rub 2 nickels together to make a quarter. Alright. So 1-1 against this guy. Third map, Neosylphid. So Neosylphid I feel pretty comfortable in any type of game on. Whether if it goes big macro, that's fine. If it's an early rush game, that's fine. Statistically, in the pro leagues, it has shown Protoss favoritism, but I don't truly agree with that, which must mean something, because normally I think everything's Protoss favored. But I think it's a pretty good map overall. Pretty fair and even map, it feels like to me. Okay, Busan round 2, game 3. There we go. Okay. So, again, not too much of a plan. I just want to play my game, scout what he's doing, play well against it. I've been talking to TT1 a fair bit, trying to fix some problems that I'm having in my TVP play. And a lot of the things that I've been discussing with him that we've been talking about come into play here, so big thanks to TT1 for that. This is, there's 2 games that I played this weekend. This one, and then one from the Daegu qualifier that I'll show in a little bit, that I'm actually quite proud of, that I feel like I played very, very well in. And so yeah, this is one of the games where I feel like I played very, very well. Okay, so let me just probe harass a little bit, whatever, get my fact. This actually really surprised me when the Zealot came in, because the other 2 games, he didn't make a Zealot. So I walked up, I saw the Zealot, I'm like, oh crap! Like, what? Well, I didn't see it, right? Because I wasn't even really looking, because I just was like, yeah, he doesn't really like Zealots. That's fine. Some people open Zealots, some don't. So, oops. Got a lot of damage on him. The Zealot, yeah, it killed a Marine, it killed an SCV. Not the biggest of deals. Kind of scouting him over during this time. I missed micro there a little bit. Vulture out. So his Zealot's glitching. This is a somewhat common micro trick that you can do. I like it like this. A lot of pros offset the barracks quite a bit more and just walk the Marine through and continually micro. I like to just hold position 1 here because the Zealot can't hit it, and it kind of glitches it out unless you're microing the Zealot heavily. So I don't know what he was doing here, but he lost that Zealot. So I get my Vulture out very quickly. Yeah, this is kind of funny. There's been so much pressure this game. There's no fast expanding going on either side. Obviously, like, you can see from the fact that I'm making a bunker here. Well, I would have to make a bunker here no matter what, whether I was going to cheese him or not, because Dragoons will be coming next, and the Marines aren't going to be able to hold up micro-wise against those, whereas you can micro them against Zealots, you can't really micro them against Dragoons. You just have to have a lot, and then when they get range, no amount of Marines will beat them. So I have to make the bunker. This is kind of funny that he went Robo as well, but focusing on that early game, I guess. So I have my Vulture out. I am getting the mines this time. In fact, I'm making a second Vulture. This is something I discussed with TT1. Something that Rush does. Very great Terran player. If they go for the early Zealot pressure, the range upgrade gets pushed back a little bit. So sometimes you can get multiple Vultures instead of going directly into a siege tank. If you go for bunker expand and it's only like 1 Zealot, let's say, or let's say that's straight into Goons, you can only really squeeze out 1 Vulture, or you'll die to Dragoons. But yeah, in this situation, you know, you can bend a little bit to him. Hey, Quirky Casts, thanks for the sub. So yeah, I'm getting a second Vulture. I forget if I get a third or not. I guess we'll never know. Ah, there it is, yeah. So I end up getting a third. Feeling like I can get away with that. So I have this Vulture down here waiting for mines. This one coming up. Okay, mines are almost done. Getting them into position. There we go, mines are done. Here I'm like laying a few in front of his base. And I want to lay some expansions and stuff like I mentioned before. And I'm even getting the speed upgrade as well. Which again, this is something I was talking about with TT1 where... you know, one of the trickiest things, and this is one of the main things I'm fixing about my TVP right now. Like, everyone has a different style, right? As much as I like playing macro in longer games, I'm very much a Vulture user, and any build order, any strategy where I can get early Vulture speed really is good for me, personally, because I'm just kind of good with Vultures, right? It's just like what I'm good at microing with Terran and what I'm good at moving around with Terran against Protoss. So, yeah, again, this is like a very specific situation where I'm able to squeeze out Vulture speed before I get siege mode. Because you have to be very careful about that. If you get Vulture speed at the wrong time because it does take longer, again, it's 63 seconds compared to 50 seconds for mines or siege mode, things can go very wrong. Because, obviously, you know, tanks that are later without siege against Dragoons, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So yeah, I'm getting my speed. I kind of have a defensive setup here. I'm not entirely sure what's coming out. When I saw this probe up here, I decided to lay a few mines here, just in case there was like a proxy gate going DTs or something. I haven't been able to get into his main base. Here we see that he's just going like Observer and a bunch of goons. Ah, yes, and I decided to get a starport. I can't remember 100% of why I chose to get the starport. Something about the game felt correct to get the starport here. Because it's not for upgrade stuff, like I don't have an armor yet or anything. The thing is, he's sitting back so much. A Wraith wouldn't be bad in a situation like this, generally. because it's when you sit back for this long, a lot of times a shuttle comes out. And obviously, you know, I've got some map control. I'm getting all this stuff. Like a dropship can be very useful. I don't know. But yeah, I can't remember what I was thinking exactly to get the starport. Okay, so he went for the observers. This is an important tactic that I'm doing right now, where I have my 3 vultures together on the side. Because he's moving out with this group of range goons, right? And I don't actually have siege mode yet. I have a tank on the way, no siege mode. I have a bunker up, so I can definitely survive for a long time. But I hopefully want to pull him back. So I run in, my speed is finished. Kill off these things. I wanted his goons to come back, but he was too smart for it. He knew that this one goon would hold, so that's fine. Tried. So now I just have to repair this until I'm ready to completely hold. So I laid these mines here. Obviously, I know there's no DTs or anything. These mines are laid to protect the siege tank. If the goons try to use move commands to run up and snipe the siege tank, and I run the siege tank back, the mines will defend it. So that's what these are. So you see I have to repair a hell of a lot. Oh! That was scary. If I had lost the bunker, then that would have turned very, very dirty. Alright, so I lifted that off to get my 4th Marine in. I like to, like, in situations like this, where there's a possibility they'll try to snipe your tank, I like filling up the bunker. Because normally you start bunkers with 2 Marines in them in very standard games, sometimes 3, it depends. If there's a lot of Zealots going on, maybe you have 4, but yeah, the 4 Marines will just deal a lot more damage to goons that are trying to run by and do things. So anyways, keeping this up. I actually have 1 too many SCVs here, so again, I'm making that mistake. I should have counted the goons more clearly. So I siege up. There we go. Everything's held. Things are looking good. Yeah, I even lost a couple goons trying to be greedy there. Okay. So that's the really early portion of the game. Oh, there was one other thing. Oh yeah, no, the probe came through here. Okay, that's what happened. I'm still kind of running around with these vultures, seeing what's what. No 3rd base yet, keeping good tabs on him. So I saw that with the mine, obviously. Let's go up and snipe him. Get out of here, probe. Ah, yes, and then I start my 3rd command center. Again, it's sometimes hard to remember exactly what I was thinking in certain positions in this game, but I held off a bunch of ranged goons as observers, and I saw his probe coming up here, which is clear that he wants to take a nexus. Obviously, my mine was in the way, so he was getting ready to send goons up to clear that, but just the fact that I see all those things together, obviously I can make a 3rd command center. And I really liked this 3rd command center timing before my 2nd gas. It felt clean. I don't know. Getting my academy up. You never want to leave your academy for too long. You need those scans. They're very important to figure out what's going on in the game. Right, we'll speed this up a little bit. Scouting around. He's actually added quite a few gateways here again. So I'm going to start some drop harassment. I mentioned it before, I like this 3rd much more than this 3rd. This 3rd's very easily defendable, but runs out. These are low amounts of minerals in these mineral patches and a low amount of gas in the geyser. So, like, if you take this base, it feels like you get 1.5 timing attacks off it. and your fourth, by the time your fourth comes up after taking this as a third, you're almost out of this base, so it's like you're still on 3 bases. I much prefer taking this and then taking this as a fourth after this one. That feels a lot better for macro for a longer game. Alright, so I just have the dropship going around. Some vultures spread around looking for whatever. Watching for probes coming and whatnot. Getting my upgrades, adding some facts. Yeah, it sounds like I ran in a couple vultures there, killed a few probes. Just getting a bit of drop grass done. Yeah, pretty effective. Pretty effective, I would say. Look at that, I'm up 11 workers now after that drop. So really, really nice. Also, I was scouting that he had a lot of gates. Earlier than you really should, especially after the openings that we've had and the speed of his third base. And there wasn't really a lot of other tech. Like, yeah, he's getting +1, whatever he has observers. Yeah, we know that. So this was another thing I talked about TT1 quite a bit, was about factory add times and switching it up a little bit. So this was, clearly he was going a little bit gateway man on me. So at this point I'm just trying to add on a lot of factories right away. And yeah, that's an important thing, especially when you take a base like this. This is a very wide open area, and it's very hard to defend unless you have the same amount of units as Protoss. I've lost countless games to Protoss attack moving into this base when I didn't have enough units. So this was like a really important thing that I've been fixing in my play. So I'm getting a healthy factory count. Trying to keep some harassment going. Oh yeah, my dropship, like I started to send it home, and then I was like, why would I send it home? I can just keep it over on this side and reload it later. So I'm still trying to get any probes I can. You see I'm keeping my SCV count higher than his. Yeah, not as many as the defensive cannon up. That's okay, though. Get a few probes here and there. Okay. So see, he's getting ready for the attack. He does have more army supply than me. Notice I'm up 14 workers, so that means he's up 15 army supply here. But that's okay. That's not that much, because I have a defender's advantage. I have +1 done already. So yeah, this is really important that I added my factories a bit earlier than I do in a lot of games. I'm also getting ready to take another base, keeping my upgrades going. So I have 2-1 on the way. Everything's pretty clean. So this is the really important moment in this game, I would say. Right? So I lifted this. I'm like, not going to lose this, because if he sends his entire army up here, he absolutely can snipe this. Maybe I can punish and kill a big chunk of his army cleanly. Maybe. But I can't go over the bridge to defend it. If he moves his whole army, you can't do it. You're single file, you don't have the right defensive structure. So at this point I decided, okay, let's just float this down. You know, when the command center gets about there, he can't kill it anymore. So I ran my SCVs, set up, and here we go. So this is his gateway man attack on me. So right now we're about even supply. So I pretty much just shred his army. I'm left over with, like, what is this? 6 siege tanks right there. More popping out. Look at this. I have 7 facts. I have my 2-1s still coming. How many gates? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he has 1 more production facility than me. And I have my 4th command center almost done. So, like, I am in a really great position at this point. So back to mining. It'll take him a while to refill that army, and I can refill mine just about as quickly, as mentioned. Still just kind of running around with my harassment. I decided, oh, I can take even another Nexus. No, he stopped that very quickly. Some more harass over here. I was doing a lot of things, so I didn't do much other than tell it to draw. Whatever. Lost my dropship finally. Okay. Actually, I hadn't realized he took this Nexus. Okay, so at this point, my factory count is getting really, really healthy. I'm going up to my 8th fact. I have 3 add-ons going. I have 2 on upgrades. Really beautiful position. Retaking this space. Yeah, everything's going pretty smooth. I've got a pretty healthy SCV count as well. He's just got his 4th up and running. I believe at this point I was, I had scanned and saw that he had Arbiter Tech, so I wanted to attack as well. That's something I'm trying to keep in mind, is to attack before Arbiters have the chance to do too much. When possible, obviously. And that's that. So I was really proud of that game, personally. That was, I felt like I played quite well. I utilized a lot of the things that I've learned lately. Felt a lot cleaner. Again, a big cheers to TT1. Helping, talking a lot of TVP with me lately. Okay, so that was round 2 in Busan. So round 3, played against one of the strongest amateurs in the world, Yoon. I didn't know who he was before, like I didn't check IDs before. But I learned a lot from this series here. Wise AU fan, thank you for your sub. Hold on one second, guys. Let me take a look at the chat. Yomi asking, do you think you're as good at the game now as when you competed back in the day? Number-wise, compared to the rest of the world, I'm probably a lower rank than I was back then, I think. But I'm a much better player right now. I'm quite certain of it. My mechanics have become a lot cleaner. Strategically, we're way further ahead than we were 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever. 12 years ago was the last time I was really active. So yeah, much better now. Okay, so anyways, this is Yoon. He made top 4 in Seoul, losing to the winner. He made 2nd place in this tournament, Busan, losing to the guy who had beaten me in Gwangju the week before. And then he made it to the finals of Daegu as well, if I'm remembering this correctly. Yes, he made it to the finals of Daegu as well. So Yoon is pretty badass. Okay, so this game, I was fast-forwarding pretty quick. My SCV got here, died going up the ramp. Damn. That sucks. Donut Delicious, thank you for your sub. KT McTizzle, thank you for your sub as well, man. Okay, so, I just bring 2 SCVs to the ramp. I know the build. If he sent all of them at once, and I didn't have the SCVs at the ramp, I'd be in trouble. Basically, as soon as the 2 popped up, I could move 1 SCV back and still feel safe. Citizen Sane, thanks for the sub. Okay. So anyways, I know that it's a fast Mutalisk build. I just kind of follow my build. There's multiple ways to play Bio against 2-Hat right now. The 2 prevailing ways to play it are 4-Racks play and fast tech play. Now, there's a range of fast tech play. You can go fast tech off of 2 barracks, like Light does, or you can go it off 3 barracks, like most other people do. Now, most recently, I've been studying Light a lot, because I think he's basically the best Terran after Flash at the moment. And I always just like his style. He likes the 2 barracks into tech. So that's what I've been doing a lot, and I've gotten pretty good results with it lately. So that's the road that I go down here against Yoon. And we'll take a look at that and the strengths and weaknesses of it in a moment. One second, guys. Okay, so nothing's out of the ordinary. Get my stim. I do believe... Yeah, I started +1 immediately here, which I think is okay. But that delays when you can start your your range normally. Normally you'll be a little bit short on gas when this finishes. So I think I actually screw up and don't get range for a little bit here. Okay, so I push back a few Marines. Okay, cool. Hey, Willman first. Thanks for gifting all those subs. Appreciate it. Okay, so here I've got my forward group. This is the most important new concept in playing against 2 hatch as Terran. Okay, so let's talk about the forward group, because this is one thing that I'm continually learning as I play really good players. This is the most important aspect of TVZ right now. Now, I'm not talking playing against 3 hatch. Against 3 hatch, it's like playing a different race, okay? 3 hatch is a much more defensive game. 2 hatch is an aggressive game. 2 hatch is about threatening. These are things that I've learned more recently, where basically 2 hatchery is threatening to keep you in your base and do a ton of damage to you, and you are threatening the 2 hatch to run over and kill their 3rd base. Hey, Willem first. Thanks again for the gifted subs. You were too kind. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, the threat is so important, because if either threat comes true, that player is way ahead. So it's a very tightrope, basically, that both players are walking with bio against 2 hatch Mutalisk. Okay, so let's take a look at this and how it goes wrong. All right, so I'm out here. Hey, Willem first. Thank you again. 5 more gifted subs. You're the man. Okay, so here I'm microing against the mutas. Let's check. Yeah, so I didn't start my range. I think I even had the money. So I'm not playing my best. This is not perfect play. I should have range started, and I should have my factory started. You really need the factory started by 6:30. Do I start it? There it is. So yeah, I guess my factory's on time, and there's my range. I realize that I don't have range. Damn, Willem first. 10 more gifted subs. You are killing it. Thank you so much. Right. Okay, so my range is a little bit late. My range should be finishing up pretty soon here, and I don't have it. So I'm starting to pull back a little bit. I'm trying to reinforce, but he's pushing me back. So he's winning the micro battle here a little bit. And eventually I'm like, I gotta go back in my main. This is tough. I gotta go back in my main. Okay, so this is where we can really talk about... I was talking before about threats, and that's what this is. You're threatening the Zerg with your forward group. When your group is about here, if the Zerg takes all of his Mutalisks and flies into your main base, let's say, okay? Then you actually just stim and run across the map and kill the 3rd base. So basically what happens is, if they do try to do that, you run across, and as long as you run your SCVs away for the most part and start getting more turrets up so the mutas can't kill you, you'll kill their 3rd, and they are really all in. What normally happens is, if you start to run across the map, then they'll like run in here, and you'll start running across the map, then they'll just fly the mutas to stop you from killing your 3rd base, okay? So really good players, what generally happens is they won't even run into your main. They will just micro around your Marine Medic Ball. Now, as soon as the Marine Medic Ball is either killed out here, that's the worst thing that can happen, or if it starts to get reduced like mine was, I like lost my confidence in being able to keep it alive. I never got my 3rd medic. My range upgrade was very late. And as the Mutalisk Ball approaches the magic number of 11, it becomes really powerful. So you really need your range up. You need 3-4 medics. You need even over 12 Marines at that point if you can. I wasn't able to do that, so I ran back home because that is the lesser evil of just losing your Marines, right? Okay, so now the threats will start to become real. The things that he was threatening. See, I try to come out again. I know that I'm gonna have a hard time if I'm not out here doing something. See, I'm just trying to keep his mutas busy. Obviously, you can see he's just continually building mutas, getting upgrades. And eventually I'm just like, God, my medic energy is getting low. It's, you know, everything's looking rough. I'm like, let me go home and defend. You see my factory's almost done here. Now, here is... He realizes, okay, his Marines are no longer in the forward position. My 3rd base is no longer under any pressure. See, he was even getting a sunk. That'll slow me down if I do run over there. But basically, he's got good scouting going on. I didn't leave through any of these directions. I didn't try to run any units through. So this is where he gets to do what he wants with the Mutalisks. Now, on different maps, there's different levels of power with the Mutalisks trying to do harassment to you. On Fighting Spirit, 2 of the bases have weak naturals against Mutalisk harassment. It's this base and this base. Now, the reason for those is the ComSat placement. The ComSat always goes on the right side of the command center, okay? So, for instance, up here, the ComSat's over here. So you have more room in your mineral line. Same over here. The ComSat goes here, more room in the mineral line. Here, you have this very thin area that's about 1 SCV thick, okay? So first off, with this here, you can't build a turret here. Whereas if I wanted to, let's pretend this is a command center, I can build a turret here. Okay, so you can actually add more turrets into this mineral line than you can here. This is too thin for a turret. This is not thick enough for 2 turrets. So you can either put turret here or turret here. This is 3 hexes, right? And turrets are 2 hexes big. So you can fit 3 turrets here. Technically, you could put turrets back here, but they're very easy to pick off. Technically, a turret fits there, very easy to pick off. So this is about as much defense as you get. Your SCVs can't run away too cleanly, and your Marines absolutely can't get in here because this is too thin. So defending this position when the Zerg has free reign, when you're not threatening them, this is a very hard natural to defend. And again, this is a very hard natural to defend. Likewise, the main base here, I don't think it happens this game, but the main base here is exactly the same, where the ComSat is in the way here. And that is a little bit the case here, but not as much, because below your command center over here, you have a lot of empty room, so you can defend. Here, you don't have a lot of empty room, so you can't really defend very well here. So this main base is terrible. This natural's bad. This natural's actually the worst. And then the other main bases are actually very defendable. Okay, so that's kind of giving you the rundown of what this is like. And that's why you need the forward group, is because when they start to harass, it becomes very, very difficult to actually hold on. So here's that group of 11 mutas, a very important number. So see, 3 hits, gone. And now you see, with this type of micro, like every other time he's coming in, this turret's shooting 1 shot, right? So this is not good anti-mutalist defense. Now my economy is going to really, really suffer. See that? Trying to build another turret, just pick it off. He's just flying into the main base. Oh yeah, I guess it does happen this game. Goes down here. Notice how he positions himself below the ComSat station. He's like, oh, you came all the way down here? All right, we can get out of here now. So already I've lost like 6, 7 SVs. I don't know, a large amount. Flies back out. Of course, I have no vision of anything going on right now. I get to rebuild my turret. Got to be careful about where he's going though, right? So yeah, it looks like he lost 2 mutas during all that. But that's okay, because when you have 3 geysers going, you can make 9 mutalisks a minute. Think about that. That's your gas income. Every minute off 3 geysers, you're making 900 gas. So he comes back in again. Have to run. I'm trying to get my splash damage out ASAP. This time I blocked him from flying over my main minerals by keeping a group here. But the natural, how do I reclaim it? How do I rebuild those turrets? So here I have Valkyrie, and I'm like, okay, let's do our best here. See if the Valkyrie can make a difference. Okay, so when I killed that Marine, I made the decision. I was like, okay, I have 2 more Valks building. I kill this Marine. That tells him I'm going north towards his 3rd base. So I know that he's going to bring all of his forces somewhere, whether it's here, here, here. But I know where all of his units are basically moving to. So I decided, okay, I'm going to, like, triple, not quite triple, let's say double the strength of my anti-mutalisk army by adding the 2 Valkyries in that are popping out. So I moved south. Yeah, see, he came right over, wanted to fight. Came south, added the 2 Valks, and he's harassing me. I'm like, that's fine, because I have to go all in at this point. I actually hadn't realized that he had lurkers now, because things have been going wrong for me for a long time in this game already. So I get up here, I scan, GG. Screw it. There's no point at that point. Alright, so that was game 1 against Yoon. Playing that game, like I did, again, I didn't play perfectly, but I knew that he was just much better than me after playing that. He was cleaner in every way. Yeah. Okay. So we will jump into game 2. Yoon? What MMR is Yoon? I don't know. I'll check afterwards. He's really, really high. I believe his ID is WG_Yoon, if you want to check. But I'm in single player right now, so I can't. Anyways, very, very strong player. Again, he got top 4 in Seoul. He got 2nd place in Busan, where I'm losing to him here. And he got 2nd place in Daegu. So he was the best player that did not qualify for ACS, results-wise. Okay, so let's look at game 2 against Yoon. I learned a lot playing him, by the way. When you're trying to play your actual game against a player that good, they really, really show you your flaws. They really show you what's wrong, because they find it immediately and they bash you over the head because of it. So I feel like this series improved me a lot. Okay, so again, this is a map that I don't like very much. I don't get to play much on Whiteout. A lot of people veto it. A lot of people cheese on it. I don't feel comfortable very much on it. So I decided to do 1 base play. I'm pretty good at 1 base bio. I'm not perfect, but Zergs aren't very used to it, so it can be a good build to pull out every now and then. I had some success with it in Gwangju. But yeah, that was, I decided to do that because I knew taking an expansion here would be very difficult to hold on against him because he was just so strong. Now I scouted the build. It's not the build I wanted. I wanted him to go gas pool hatch. 1 base bio is like 10 times stronger against gas pool hatch. Because they're kind of cutting their economy a little bit, and you can force Sunkens whenever you do this build. But this is a higher economic 2-hatch build, so it's not what I wanted to hit, but that's fine. It doesn't really... Nothing I did against Yoon would have changed anything. I could have played my best TVZs, and I think he still would have beaten me. Okay, so here he hasn't scouted me, so I'm leaving one Marine on the ramp to try to make it look like it is factory play in case he does come up. He does, in fact, make a sunken, so I think maybe I sold that, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Okay, this right here turns out to be a giant mistake, this engineering bay. You'll see in a minute. Okay, so I move out. You're forcing sunkens at this point. Like I mentioned, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. I stim in. The reason why you see me stim in is because the timing is very tight before sunkens finish, and I don't know what he's made because I'm on one base, right? So I have one scan, and you have to save your scans for very specific things that you're looking for at different times with this build. That's my findings, at least. So I'd rather lose a Marine or whatever with the opportunity to possibly do a lot of damage or not waste a scan. Everlucid, thanks for the sub. Okay, so I scanned his main there. I saw that he has the Spire, as expected. His economy is not fantastic, but it's actually not all that bad compared to mine. I'm teching up. Pretty normal, pretty standard stuff. When I leave against a build like this, I made 2 fire bats because you know, you could have lings, and I don't want to deal with that. And then as soon as you see the sunkens, you don't need the fire bats anymore because you don't make sunkens and lings. So I send the fire bats off to scout. That's my thought process. I don't know if Pro Terrans would ever do something like that, but I like it. Okay, so I'm just building a couple turrets while trying to get up to vessels. And now you're going to see the demolishing of a human being. So this is why the eBay was a terrible idea. I've learned recently to stop putting depots down here for the most part. This engineering bay really screwed up my movement. And the way he just flew through there, he got a few SCVs, slowed down my tech a little bit, flies out. He's going to do that a lot more times here. So you see I'm like kind of standing here. He's like, oh, I don't care. Whatever, we'll go through there again. And again, you can notice the comm stat placement. Because the minerals are on the right-hand side, it is once again blocking. See how that's 1 SCV thick? So again, you know, it's one of these things where you have to take very different measures in different positions because there's no circulation here. There's 0. So here they come again. I'm having a terrible time. He's just killing everything. I feel like a baboon at this point. I figure he took this third, so I actually send this firebat over there. But I think I gave it a move command, so that kind of screws it up a little bit. So here they come again. Look at me, I'm on 16 SCVs. It's so hilarious. Should have 30 SCVs right now. Clears up that firebat, whatever. He's just making mutas, and he absolutely can. This will end in a moment. Look how many mutas he has. It's so crazy. Yeah. Okay, so he really demolished me. For this map, I realized, you can see I moved my eBay eventually. You can't build anything on this position down here. You cannot build anything. You have to have perfectly fluid motion down here to stop the mutas from flying over this part. So that's something I learned, and you'll see that I really executed that a lot better in Daegu. And then also the other thing that I felt like I learned from Yoon was, again, like I feel like I keep learning it more and more and more, the importance of the forward bioforce. In TVC, keeping your bio out front against the 2 hatchery play to force his mutas to stay out of your base. Because if you don't do that, you can see what happens from that fighting spirit game. So my thought process, I was very happy actually after losing to Yoon. I was like, you know what? I think I played pretty well. Like I beat those 2 Protosses. I got into a terrible spot against DTs, kept my cool. I played some very solid games in round 2 against that guy from Saren Clan. I felt good about it. And then I lost to Yoon, and I'm like, oh, there was nothing I could have done. He's better than me. So yeah, not only that, but like I learned a lot from Yoon. And when I went to Daegu, Rap and I went and got on a train, went to Daegu. It's only like an hour away from Busan. And I already had in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to review a little bit of 4 racks play instead of the 2 racks tech. I'm going to start doing the 4 racks play to try to be more able to keep my forward marine ball out there. So I went to the PC Bong in Daegu after we got like a hotel, and we ate some food, and we actually watched the Star Wars movie. And so then I got to practice it a little bit so that I would be a bit more prepared for the next day. So that was, again, my qualifier run in Busan. Let me pop that up on screen again. So yeah, there I am. Yoon ended up beat Bliss, then he beat me, then he beat Baimaru, then he beat Pitbull, and ended up losing to Geiko, who's the Terran that eliminated me from Gwangju. So that was kind of cool to see that Geiko came back and smashed that one. Okay, back to the games. So we'll go over the Busan bracket in a moment. Okay, wait, no, that was Busan, I'm sorry. Normally Busan's the last qualifier. For some reason it was second last this time. It was Daegu this time was the last one. Okay, Daegu game 1, round 1. Here we go. Okay, let me hop on the bracket real quick. And we'll go to the Daegu qualifier. So many people showed up to Daegu. It was crazy. There was like 60 players there. Really, really super packed. Very fun. Okay, so kind of the notable list here. Let's look at my bracket. Yoon came again. Okay, so round 1, this is a Protoss player. We're about to watch the replay. Not sure what his ID is. Round 2, Ojin Shik. This is a Zerg player, and I'm not sure who it is. Like, I couldn't figure out who this was. Pretty strong. Definitely not as strong as Yoon, is what I told Rapid after I lost to him 0-2. I was like, oh, okay. I felt like one of my games against this guy was pretty good, pretty competitive, I thought. But we'll look at that and decide, going over the replays. But then this guy that, again, I don't know who he is. Obviously, he's someone. Everyone's someone. Went up and beat someone that's notable pianist, then beat Mighty, who is absolutely one of the best Protoss players, and then lost to Yoon in ZVZ. And then, of course, we see that at the finals, it was CKH beat Yoon. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at my TVP first. Okay, just a second. I'm going to refill my coffee. Oh no, my mic was muted. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I said so many things. Thank you, Sacred Knight, for subbing and letting us know. Okay, so let's see, since I came back. So basically, I was just mentioning that I did the standard end scout. I was trying to get a fast expansion up. I had no specific plans for this game. I squeezed the SCV in there like you just saw, and I saw the Robo, and I was just talking about how that's what you expect. You expect the second gate or the Robo. Following up an expansion of the speed with DTs is a terrible idea because every standard build will have detection in time. But it was nice to see the Robo, right? When you see it, you're like, okay, I can really narrow down when things can come to my base, like if he goes Reaver, or if he's going Observer, or whatever it is. But yeah, that's basically all I said during that. Okay. Alright, so a little bit of goon pressure, whatever. I have my tank. Making my second factory. Nothing out of the ordinary is happening over here. Looks like probably just Observer. 2-gate Observer, maybe 3-gate Observer. Maybe he wants to take a quick third Nexus. Okay, so I'm getting ready for a push. Yeah, I'd make a fourth tank here. I don't know. I can't say in words what it is, when you should make a fourth tank and when you should not. It's something I do by feel every game. Which means that somewhere in my subconscious I have a good idea of what I'm judging for it, but I don't actually know, which means I don't understand it enough yet. Yeah, because sometimes you see people, pros do builds like this, and sometimes they get the fourth tank, sometimes they don't. It's, I think fourth tank is slightly better than not fourth tank in most situations, but I'm not sure. Okay, anyways, I'm getting ready to put some pressure on here. I like to just push with the single SCV in this situation. Okay. Attacking across. Some pretty good micro from him. Aha, yeah. I like that part. He ran to the north slightly. He wanted to pick off the Vulture, because the Vulture dies relatively quickly. How many hits is it? It's like... it does 15 damage a hit, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 5 hits, right, to kill a Vulture. Anyways, if he can pick the Vulture off, the mines can't get laid and stuff. Anyways, I pulled the Vulture back. Anyways, yeah, it's just, I liked the move from him. Okay, so my micro is pretty good there so far. I'm not sure why I laid that mine. Oh, yeah. This part was great. His goons went such a long way, I actually ended up sending Vultures down here to lay mines so they couldn't get away. But he picks off a tank. So I get that. I get all those forward goons there. He's adding gates. Okay, yeah, I was just waiting for my extra tank to come, and now I have 3 tanks again. I sent my 2 Vultures up here and see that he has a third Nexus. Normally when they get a third Nexus that quickly, you can generally do something with this push. That was really smart of him to move that probe out of there. Okay, so the Marine's just there for tanking anyways. Takes 4 Dragoon hits to kill a Marine, so it's actually pretty good at tanking. Okay, so there... I think that was really good micro from him, actually, what we just saw right there. He pulled the probes and then pulled them back. And kind of glitched me out a little bit. And I think that this is a good time for him to add a few Zealots here. Actually try to get in there and target them down a little bit, because I know they just run right through the mines and screw up my push. Okay, so I think both of us are microing quite well at this point. These mines that you see me laying, these are mines so that the goons can't fully commit to chasing me. This Zealot, by the way, I was surprised that he made another Zealot. But it's good. It's really... this Zealot's really important. When I saw that Zealot here, I knew that I was in trouble. Because these goons, again, they're these mines that I have laid down, these are anti-chase mines. Because normally with goons, what you do is you do move, attack, a tank, move, attack, a tank, move, attack, a tank. If I don't have any mines here, he actually just runs towards my tanks. But in this situation, if he starts running towards my tanks, I hit the goons with the tanks, and then move back over the mines and keep on microing, right? So I'm trying to hit his goons, he's trying to hit my tanks, but I get to decide because he can't run into the mines. Like I'm, you know, that's kind of my advantage there. And that's why I was focusing heavily on picking off the 3 Zealots, because the Zealots take more mine hits, take more tank hits, they drag things, it's insane. Mines don't do full damage to Zealots and things like that, right? So that's why I focused down those first 3, but now he has the 4th one that just popped out, and I don't have enough Vultures to power it down. Tanks have explosive damage, so they don't do full damage to Zealots. Yeah, so he gets a tank there. The Zealot helps him out. I had to pick off that Zealot as best I could. I've made another tank at this point. I'm actually doing okay spending at home. Sometimes I fall off a little bit in these situations. But I'm doing okay. Like, I have enough depots. I have my armory up. I've gotten my second gas. I've gotten my third fact. So... yeah, I think I got siege. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so... yeah, this situation, I was like, uh-oh, this is not any good. So, yeah, I'm covering the retreat with mines. Yeah, I liked this. Because I had another tank coming down, right? The mines are covering the retreat so these tanks can get some distance. But I didn't have any more vultures or mines coming, right? So I just set this tank in siege mode, because then, as these run out of goon range distance, these 2 damage tanks, if they come up and commit on this one, these 2 can come back and fight. Obviously, they're kind of hurt badly. This has 2 tank volleys left on it. This has, what, 4, 5, 6 goon shots left. Should have unsieged this really quickly. So that was a big mistake. So he actually ends up killing all of them. It was a good idea in theory, I think, but not in execution this time. Okay, so at this point, this is not looking super hot for me. He has his Stargate up. It looks like he didn't get his Templar Archives quite yet. Looks like his gas is very, very low. He has his 3rd Nexus just now, starting to get a few probes at it. At this point, like, in the game, I was thinking to myself, this is a very hard game. I have to somehow utilize the fact that he's low on units at this moment. So I thought, like, okay, I was hoping he wouldn't have this pylon wall up yet. Because I'm like, alright, I'll siege this. This will keep his attention, and I can run my vultures over here. That was the idea. Because there was so much hectic stuff going on, it would be not surprising if he did not have this up. And then I get up here and he has it up, and I'm like, uh-oh, there goes another tank. Not really getting anything done here. I'm trying to hop a vulture, it doesn't work. Okay, so at home, I add my 3rd command, realizing that if I'm going to win, it's going to be a much longer game, probably. It's Forge. Where's that Templar Archives? Doesn't have it yet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of running around trying to get some harassment. This was a good probe drill. I should have gotten, like, 4 extra probes there at the end. I only got 1 extra. So yeah, you see he's running up towards my 3rd base, making sure that I can't just instantly have a 3rd here. Like, if I have a 3rd landed right now, or if I'm building this on location, then look, our worker count is actually very similar. And our armies, like, I mean, it favors him a little bit, but I have speed vultures running around, so he can't really move his full force around right at this second. So that's why he's immediately running up here. I think that was a very smart move. Okay, so again, I'm trying to pop this up, and there's a micro trick you can do where when you lay a mine under a vulture, it displaces it because it's two things. Because the mine starts out above ground, so it displaces the vulture a little bit, which gives it that wonky movement. And when you do it right next to a pylon wall, sometimes you can glide it over the pylon wall. It's difficult to do, but it can be done. Fear Dragon Buddy, thank you for the sub. So I've tried that a few times. I'm trying to get my third base. Yeah, I saw the shuttle moving up here, and then I see these goons already sitting there. And I'm like, oh my god, this game. So that was a little bit annoying, but I'm keeping my vultures moving reasonably well here, I think. So I make sure my command center doesn't die. I'm like, okay, I can't take that right now. I don't have any anti-air for pushing the shuttle back, so it's kind of a hard position. Not sure what his plan is right here. I was pretty surprised that he ran down here, because I'm like, no, you don't have enough to do this. Okay, so once he realized he didn't have enough to do it, because here I'm actually feeling very far behind. And you can see I am actually starting to fall pretty far behind. I don't have my third up. My science facility isn't done. I only have 4 facts. I don't really have a lot going on. Did I start +1 armor? No. I didn't even do that. I'm waiting for the 2-1 rather than that. But I know that he has 3 bases up. I figure he has his Arbiter Tech. It looks like he doesn't actually have the Tribunal yet. Yeah, because he got his Templar Archives a little bit late. He was spending... Oh, there it is. Okay, so I guess he can get it in a moment. But anyways, now... I was surprised that his goons walked down to here. But I wanted to utilize that, because I'm like, oh, he's out of position now. I can do something. I can be really active right now. So I go and start laying mines in their retreat path, because they'll always have to go up here and then down here. So he has to clear that. I'm laying extra mines. My tanks are coming down. Alright, let's do this. That cannon kind of screwed me up a little bit. Okay. Let's take a look here. So he is up about 7 army supply right now. Obviously a big chunk of mine is at home. And he's coming in with a rather large flank, and this is high ground units against low ground units, so he gets that mischance rate, which is pretty rough. Alright, let's zoom out and watch the fight. Okay. Okay, so here comes the shuttle. I decided to target down the shuttle. One thing I'm doing with the tanks is targeting Dragoons. I don't want them shooting the Zealots that bomb out. And then I suddenly decide, oh, let's target this one on the ramp. Maybe I can... Because these vultures are going to die no matter what. So I figure if I target this one on the ramp, if I get lucky and both the tanks hit their shots, I can run up and actually kill some probes. Here we go. Oh, he made the pylon in time. Good move. Okay. So now I felt even more far behind because I didn't actually kill any probes there. I lost all my tanks and all my vultures. And... yeah. Yeah. So... I wasn't feeling like I had too much of a shot in this game. I do have my science facility up now, so I guess that's good. I haven't started my 2-1 yet. I'm sure I will in a moment now that that's over with. At least I know where his army is right now, so it's a lot easier to take a third base in that situation. Zurat, thanks for the sub. So yeah, I'm relaying some mines here. This will tell me if he's coming up towards my 12 o'clock. Just running my vultures around, trying to take stock of where I'm at in the game. I thought like there might be a chance because I knew he had a bunch of units out. A lot of times the rally point is like here. And again, a lot of units are out, so I thought, oh, maybe I can just run by and get up into this space. Occasionally you can do a move like that. It doesn't work, whatever. You just run around with the vulture scene if you can do anything, lay in some mines and whatnot. Yeah, here he comes, so that puts a fire under my butt to get this walled up. Oh yes, and I made a dropship, because dropships are good for comebacks. These two things that I'm doing here, by the way, are very important. This is normally a third base that's easy for Protoss to take, or a fourth base rather, in these positions specifically. It's very easy for Protoss to take this and very hard for Terran to break this. Because, like, look what happens if you break it, right? Either you get so out of position that your army's garbage. Like, if you walk your whole army over here and then try to push up this ramp, Protoss will laugh till the milk comes out of their nose because your army's here. And what are you gonna do? What are you doing with your army here? That's so stupid. So you have to kill it from the front. Which means if you do that, right? Sure, I could walk my whole army over here and start sieging it here. But then I'm against a wall where he can get a huge surface area and attack in. Or, of course, he can run around this way, counterattack, all that. So this, in general, is a very good base for Protoss to take. So I focused a lot on denying it by keeping vultures over here, laying mines up here, just making it uncomfortable to take. Of course, we can see he's actually taking the bottom left here. Okay, you see he is getting ready to take this base. For all those reasons that I mentioned, it's just a strong location to take. But luckily I got my vulture. He sees the vulture, tries to run past. Ha, I caught it too. Okay, there we go. Alright, I flew my dropship. The dropship, I was left aligning, I believe, if I recall correctly, and I was just going to send it right here. Like, drop it off in here, see if I could get some probes. I see the Nexus here. It's not a huge surprise, I think. Oh, cannon already done. Okay, whatever. I saw that the probes were coming up, by the way. Right? So here, I figure he has to send army up. Some amount of army up. Like, he tried to just send the probes in and hope that I would stay sieged so that he could surround the tank and just kill it with probes. But as soon as I saw that and unsieged, I thought, okay, this is another position where I can do something tactical to try to come back in this game a bit more. So here comes the army, and here down come my vultures. So I re-siege, it's whatever, he's got his army here. Probe death, let's do it. Alright, pretty good move, I would say. Be happy with that. Alright, so at this point I'm just kind of massing up, trying to get upgrades, trying to keep busy. Just now getting my 5th vac, we're 15 minutes in. Just to put this into perspective with how weird this game has been and how much aggressive moves there have been, how many armies we've lost, how much harassment's been done. At 12 minutes and 30 seconds, you can be maxed out with 2-1, and Protoss will be maxed out and have an Arbiter. So, kind of funny. That's with a very standard macro build openers. Oh yeah, I did another drop here, by the way. So yeah, I'm just trying to continually harass this base as much as I can. And the thing is, he keeps having to send army, and then you know, it's like a two-pronged thing, right? I'm like dropping in here, trying to get vultures to do some damage, then laying mines, hoping army will run into it. So see, he's chasing these vultures that came down behind. Okay, let's hit with the vultures again in the main. Once again, going up here, trying to deny. Didn't have my EMP yet, but had energy for defense matrix, so this was actually a pretty clean defense. I'm still pretty far behind, I would say, in this game at this point. But, you know, making some headway. My CV count is not that far off the probe count. I have 2 on upgrades, that's gigantic. I have 3-2 on the way, that's gigantic. And it's been such a funny game that we're almost at 19 minutes, and I still have a lot of minerals left in my third, which is important. But I still am going to be able to mine for a while. Okay, so I'm doing more drops, and moving out at the same time now. So just trying to kind of set something up that's very annoying for him. This Nexus has already been taking damage because this is like drop number 4 over here. Okay, here, I believe that I was waiting a little bit for more rounds because my vulture count got really lowered. A lot of times you'll see Terrans battle and they'll have all their tanks left over, but they'll lose all their vultures, and then they'll keep attacking and be like, well, I can keep attacking. No, you have to remake your vultures. Your vultures are your buffer in front of your siege tanks. Hey, thanks for the raid machine, buddy. So I have a bunch more units coming down. Brave Terran. I think he sent his Zealots to the wrong location. If he had sent them here, could have cleared these 3 tanks. And if you clear these 3 tanks, it's easier to kill off this set of units. I actually don't remember if I lose this set. Well, at first I started to send the tanks over here because I was thinking, I'll pick them up in the dropship and drop them in here. We're going to have a party over in this base. And I was like, no, I have no time for that. So at this point, I'm kind of realizing that I'm going to need another base. This game doesn't feel like it's going to finish with me on 3 bases victorious. Yeah, I have 3-2 upgrades. Which, again, that's so big. Speed this up a little bit. Just keep harassing. EMP was really important there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is where it's getting crazier. I'm like, maybe I can make some moves here. So I started coming over here, because he's finally getting this space, and his army moved, but I'm trying to, like, find good angles to come in at. So set that siege up. This is a great position because this wall is just screwing up attacks. Like, look where his army is, right? It was sitting here defensively because I was coming in from the top. But then I moved down here and siege in a position like this. Well, let's just watch, right? So he's kind of getting clumped up right here. His alts are stuck behind goons. I'm getting extra shots off. It's really important because he had bigger army supply than me there. Alright, finally got this set up. That was actually... Did I float a command yet? No. Kind of a crazy game. Oh yeah, here I was like, my idea was to set up a minefield and just leave a few tanks to deter him from moving in too quickly, and then run down and kill this space real quick. That's why those tanks are going down there. But then he started to attack, and I think I bring these back. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I fall back into a more conservative play here, sieging more tanks. We got a 3-3 now. Yeah, I loved that play. I threw an EMP down here so I could target down the pylon and then get the Nexus very quickly. EMP does 750 to those shields, so that's pretty sick. So you target that, and now vultures can come in and help. Otherwise, the 3 cannons, it takes forever. You have to kill cannon 1, then kill cannon 2, then kill cannon 3, and then kill the Nexus. Alright, speed this up a little bit. Don't think there's too much more to it. Oh, wait, no, actually there is a little bit more to it. Look, he's still got more supply than me at this point. He's starting to move around pretty aggressively. I want to kill that bottom left real bad, but if he counters me and I'm killing bottom left, this base is going to carry him through. So I can't lose my main, and I need to keep one of these 2 expansions up and running, at least. That's why I'm kind of mirroring his movements with this army. Yeah, I lost a couple vessels there sloppily. Came in and started targeting. Alright, so finally I get this base once and for all. Ah, yes. Okay, so at this moment, right, this is enough army to kill all this. So I'm actually making a little bit of a mistake walking out, but I think what happens is I go back to my rally point and like, oh crap, I have a lot of units actually now. I think this is the highest supply I got in this game, maybe. So I think my idea was I wanted to flank here, and then it never worked. See, that's my flank. That's my flank right there. While his army demolishes everything I have in the bottom left. Oh my god. I was like, well, that was a terrible mistake of me to go up there. Better moves would have been leaving everything here, or walking up here, or even pulling up to here. All of those would have been much, much smarter moves. Instead, this was a big army. I lost a lot of tanks here. And this flank... I can't... It's so funny to call this a flank. Oh my god, it's just... I just drag selected a group and sent it to attack. I'm like, let's go! But I think my idea of the flank and why I was moving my army up is because it felt with his army movements like he was going to attack here. So I was like, okay, if I can hit him from behind when he's trying to attack here, I can at least punish him killing this base. So I just trade as efficiently as I can here, right? I've got a few tanks in siege mode. I think I end up right-clicking the Nexus to make sure I kill it. Laying some mines and whatnot. Whoa, literally my last shot killed it. I didn't realize it was that close. Crazy. So, definitely made a few mistakes there. Oh, yes, yes. And during this time, when he was clearing that out, I did use my flank, or some of the units in my flank, to help go over here and start hitting some of these bases. Here, I'm just trying to kill as quickly as I can. Because what's happening is, first off, obviously I need to kill these bases. But even if I lose my units, that's okay, because that means he's sending a bunch of units over to defend, which means he's not killing these bases as easily or as quickly. Here, trying to kill this off as well. Not really any probes up there, though. I guess I don't get the Nexus, huh? Oh, yeah. He did a recall here and forced that away. I guess I just am going to lose 2 almost full energy vessels, maybe? I don't know. So at this point, we're both hurting. There is not much economy left on this map. Well, there's a lot of economy left. There's just not for either of us. So, he's denied this base. I'm not mining up here. That's the end of my minerals. My army is better right now, though. That's classic Artosis right there. Radiate the High Templar. The, in low economy, big games, I actually really like, Irradiate against Protoss. And in fast-paced TVZs, I like EMP. I think Irradiate can actually give you a lot of value, because a lot of times you'll stack vessels towards the end of the game. Look at that. Irradiate's great. So yeah, there's no more income for me, by the way. So I'm trying to be careful here. I'm like, okay, I need to set up another base. I sent a tank to make sure this place is empty. Watch this. Whoop. That's good. That was game number 1. Okay, so I was pretty happy with that one. That was, felt like a comeback victory. I think I played pretty well. I definitely made some pretty big mistakes at various points. My initial push, maybe I should have repurposed it to kill the 3rd. Maybe I should have pushed more quickly. The 4th Zealot really kind of screwed me up there. Forced a tank kill that it shouldn't have happened otherwise. if that was a goon. Yeah, kind of an interesting, weird thing. Okay. Oh, I took the wrong game. Damn. Ah, that's too bad. Okay. Yeah, I jumped into the autosave folder and I thought I grabbed the correct one. But basically, okay, so we played game number 2. Now, that game I hadn't, I hadn't rushed or anything. It was just it was a pretty normal game. And so we played Whiteout. I got this position. And I was 2-facting. And so I'm moving across the map with 2-fact. I'm actually lined up against what I want to be lined up against. He's taking a Nexus. He's got Dragoons. Not doing anything too out of the ordinary. I'm hitting my timing pretty smoothly. I have a lot of Marines. He's not really whittling me down. He's closer to his main base. And then my computer froze. It was one of those freezes where it just everything stops moving on the screen and you have to like Alt-Control-Delete StarCraft. So at that point I wasn't too happy, right? Because you're hiding what your strategy is. I'm opening up with a 2-fact on a build that I want to do a rush on of some sort. And so I asked him, I'm like, did your game freeze? And he said no. So I was like, okay, he knows that I want a 2-fact. So I had to come up with something else on the fly here. So I did not 2-fact this game. So it was kind of, I was pretty angry. Like, not at him or anything, but I was pretty frustrated that for free my build doesn't get to be used. Because it felt like if I had done it again, I'm like, it's not going to work. Like, if you know what someone's going to 2-fact, it's not a good build. Okay, so yeah, I think I just do a pretty standard expansion here. Yeah, there's my bunker. Do I squeeze the vulture? Wait a minute. Oh. Oh no, that's... Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I made the vulture. Get my mines. Pretty normal stuff. Ah, yes. So here I am laying behind. If the vulture gets out and you're pressuring the bunker, you actually probably deserve to lose the game, to be honest, but for some reason he sent a 4th Dragoon, which I don't understand this at all. Maybe he just didn't realize I had a vulture out, but a little bit of a brainless play in my opinion. Runs into 2 mines, and when he sees the mines, he's like, oh shit, let's get out of here. So if you lose all those goons for free, that's no good. Okay, anyways, there we go, everything's held. So it looks like 3-gate observer, 4-gate. Oh. Yeah, I hadn't watched this one yet. Okay. I think that this just signals that he's expecting me to be aggressive, probably. Which I am gonna. I'm gonna be somewhat aggressive, at least. So this game, I actually skipped the 4th tank. I'm not sure exactly why. I think I just wanted to move out more quickly and have my vultures there. Don't forget I did get a goon kill earlier on. Okay, yeah, I see my own improvement. The way that I move this vulture, a lot of times I just start laying mines and work them up. But he kept moving back, so I kept moving my vulture forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, that vulture is cash money. You see that? You see that? 2 volleys, 3 volleys now used on mines. Love it. And now I have him at the ramp, which is a really hard place for him to micro. Pull back against the probes. Shield batteries come up, pull that tank back. Nice, nice, nice. Mine going down, you can't pass yet. Not bad. Ooh, his goons. The probe drill hurting him there. Yeah, there I was just laying mines to force the Dragoons to stay back. Obviously he has an observer, right, so he can kill the mines. But I just forced him to stay back so I could kill those extra probes. You can see now my SCV count's higher than his probe count. Here, I didn't quite do a good job targeting. I was targeting this bottom one. If I was a little bit quicker, I could have clicked on him and realized that both these goons I could have killed. Yeah. Those were both low. If I killed both of those, this might have snowballed into a victory. Or got me much further ahead. So I do end up killing him. Here comes the Zealot. Like, oh shit, it's a Zealot, run. Oops. Zealots are so funny. Okay, that is the end of my push. Let's see, what am I doing at home? Adding more facts. Again, like I mentioned, for the ACS tournaments, because I haven't practiced Whiteout very much, I wanted to cheese. I just wanted to attack early and often and try to end games on Whiteout one way or the other. My thought was, if I'm better than my opponents, I should win Fighting Spirit and Sylphid. And this is kind of the throwaway map for me. Okay, so it looks like I was pretty safe there. I'm just kind of running around with vultures, laying mines. Nothing too crazy going on. I kept my SCV production reasonably good, I think. Yeah, here I had to put down the second add-on to replenish those siege tanks. He's just kind of clearing everything, keeping up a good wall. Yeah, he's going much quicker Arbiter this game. This map is unbelievably fantastic for Arbiter. There's no way to block it. It's just too much surface area when you look at this, right? You cannot block recall here. So you have to either take a very aggressive stance or somehow find the Arbiter before it gets in and EMP it. Oh, okay, so yeah, this was kind of an interesting moment coming up here in a minute. So, I'm setting up, right? This is just a forward position that I rallied everything to. Because, look, I have 5 facts, right? I actually want to attack him again. That's my thought process. And then I looked at it, and I felt like that wasn't going to work. My siege tank count is kind of low. I wasn't really on top of how many units he had. Looking at the replay now, I see that in this type of situation where we're even army supply, if I have like 8 tanks, I probably could have attacked and killed him, I think. But in this game, I decided to make the third. I made that call, and I was kind of proud of myself for making it, because a lot of times I won't make that call to make that third base. And which is funny, because in retrospect, I look at this, and I'm like, nope, the attack would have been better. Yeah, the attack, I could have gone here, here, hold this position, kill the third. Absolutely, yeah. Once I got up to 8 tanks, I think that that would have been an easy way to do it. So at this point, I'm still kind of just running vultures around, laying some mines, whatever. Keeping track of where he's expanding to. Got his Arbiter on the way. Going recall. I'm getting a dropship here, because I feel... Yeah, I didn't gauge where I was in this game very well. I think I didn't realize... or it just didn't come to my mind how many probes I killed during the initial rush, because that's exactly what's going on here. You can see I'm still up 5 workers. which generally in TVP this is not the case. If you're up workers as the Terran, then you're in very good shape almost always. Yeah, because if Protoss doesn't take economic damage a lot of the time, they just keep making nexuses and can saturate them so quickly and then get so many gateways that it kind of overwhelms, and they can always reinforce. But in this game, he's not going to have any bank. He's basically even supply. So I definitely misjudged this and how many probes I killed. I have to keep better attention of that, because I think I'm missing multiple kill timings this game, which gives him a real chance to come back. And you'll see, this game ends up being so close. And I was very happy to win it, but now that I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, I had a lot of misplaying here. So he's just kind of going around the edges. It's hard to walk through the forest. I'm just laying mines as he's running around. It's just something you want to do. Going on. Figured I'd leave this here for later. Very droppable map. Yeah, look at this. Still my army supply is so healthy. Got 1/1 upgrades, not bad. Okay, so this move out was dictated by his Arbiter, because I did scan and see Arbiter. So I kind of, I want to attack before he recalls me. You have to take control of the game at this point as Terran. You have to dictate what they're doing with their Arbiter, because, again, Whiteout is so good for Arbiters, especially against 6 o'clock. Like, look, if you recall here, right, this is your normal area where things are happening. Okay, so your rally points are out here, your army's out here. If he recalls in my main, right, like, we might be fighting here, and the Arbiter can fly this far, recall my main, and I have to walk all the way around here, up this ramp, through my factories, through my mineral line. By the time you even do that, your depots are all gone, right? So recall is unbelievably deadly, especially against 6 o'clock. If you look at the other bases, there's a lot more room to build things, and you don't have to go through the mineral line. Like, if someone recalls here, right, you can actually walk around. Here, walking around is impossible because your factories go here and here. So, like, you're walking up here and then around to there. It's much less clean. Same over here. Like, you can put your depots up here. This is probably a stronger position, because even up here is protected from by your natural, so the recall positions are here and here. So anyways, again, 6 o'clock Whiteout. Terrible. Okay, so I'm starting this push. I'm unsure of how well the push will do. I think my position here was all right. But then he actually cleans me up reasonably well. Like, he got rid of most of my tanks, but I had some in the forest still that were able to hold on, and he smartly moved away as the Zealot count went to 0. Okay, so the thing is, I see the Arbiter, and I know that he wants to recall, so I'm like, I have to keep aggressive. I have to keep aggressive. Ooh. So painful. Oh, yeah. So I set up another drop in this time. Oh yeah, and when he sent his units back, hit the 3rd base. I also sent the dropship to pick something up to try to attack here. Alright, so there it goes. If I had 2 vultures in here, I think the game would have ended a lot quicker. Because 2 vultures with this siege tank and all these probes die. And then his economy is absolutely destroyed. Instead, he surrounded with the probes. It was a good move. Barely got my tank out. So that was a misplay for sure. I should have had 2 vultures in there. Okay, so here I was even thinking to myself, I'm like, I have to keep attacking or I'm going to get recalled. This is going to be terrible. Not the biggest recall, though. Not the biggest recall. Targets down my scanner immediately, a smart move. I decided when this recall hit that I was in a really bad spot. By the way, I don't know how this happened. I don't know why those are all there. But I decided that I needed to attack. And I was like, okay, we'll try to clean this up with rallies. So I attacked in. So right here, I almost left the game. Right here, when I looked over and I scanned, and I'm like, oh my god, I just attack moved like 10 tanks. They're just all gonna die. This is terrible. Like, what am I doing? I've been making this type of mistake since 2002. But, I had enough mines left over and stuff. I was doing some harassment up here. It's like, alright, we'll stay in the game. I almost cleared this out by now. Lost my command center. Lost my armories. Oh wait, no, my armories are there. Never mind. Sorry, lost my academy. That's what was there. But luckily, I have some other things going on. Some vultures doing harass. His probe count's getting real low at this point. Well, another recall. That was funny. So what happened right here is I had my vessel over here for some reason. I don't know, a misclick or something, I think. And I scanned and saw this arbiter. And then I scanned here to see if there was anything in the way. And I saw a bunch of zealots come out. And I'm like, oh, he just did a zealot round. And a lot of Protosses will do a pure zealot round, then a pure goon round. So I was like, I bet you I can fly this right up here and EMP that guy. I bet you he can just be like a James Bond science vessel and get it. It didn't work out that way. It would have died if he hadn't stasised it as well. So we just saw another recall. Alright, I'm not mining again. There seems to be something that happens to me. Sending my SCVs over here. I'm gonna go ahead and float. But he's taking up probe damage. So yeah, actually going over these replays is helping because I'm starting to figure out that I'm pretty bad at gauging when I do probe damage, how much damage that's actually done to my opponents. Alright, so that was that, GG. We'll jump over to the browser real quick. So that was this right here. And my next round that we'll go over in the last replays that I have are me versus this Zerg player, Ojinshik, who again, I don't know who it is, but he beat Pianist, he beat Mighty, he made it up to Yoon, and then died. He definitely was not as good as Yoon. Obviously, we see that because Yoon beat him, but like just playing against him, I did not feel the same I felt against Yoon. Like, I was pretty frustrated when I lost to him, because even though he definitely deserved to beat me, I was like, if I had played a bit better, maybe I can beat him. And I definitely felt like I could have won game 2. Stoke Nomad, thanks for the sub. Alright. There it is, and on to game 1. Now, the secret folder is not going to open, guys. It's secret. You can't see it ever. Okay. I did not play Pianist. This guy beat Pianist, and then he beat Mighty. So, he's clearly a good Zerg. And I think he's better than me as well. But yeah, again, it wasn't like Yoon. I lose to Yoon, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was always going to lose to him. I lost to this guy, I was like, game 2 at least, I was like, I could have taken that map. And then maybe lose 2-0 kind of badly on the other maps. But yeah, anyways, we'll look at it. We'll see how well I actually did on map 2. You know, I've already did a big lecture on the importance of forward groups. That was something that was really clean in my mind going into this match from playing Yoon the day previously. I was planning here to do 4 barracks play instead of 2 with slightly later tech, and to focus on keeping my forward group out. And I'll show you what happens, because I'm focusing so heavily on that I do something here that's not that good that really costs me. So here I'm making my bunker, that's fine. I think you should have a bunker. Everything seems to be on time, everything seems good. Adding my additional 2 racks. I'm not 100% sure if I should have added these 2 racks right at this second. I don't know if I can actually afford that. I need to study it a bit more. Because Mutalisk timing, I guess in this particular game, his Mutalisks are not gonna... Like, I think Mutalisks get to your base in these positions as 6 minutes. So maybe I can add these right before my turrets. Anyways, that's just something to mention. Now, see these 3 lings? These 3 lings by themselves basically win the game. And I'll explain that in a second. So, and the thing is, I learned a lot from this game as well. Alright, so here I am, and I'm like, I gotta get this forward group out there. I gotta do it so he doesn't fly into my base. You know, threaten to kill another base. So he immediately runs the 3 lings by, which is absolutely something you should do, you should be trying to do. In the future, I'm going to have something ready for this. And maybe not move out quite as quickly with the forward group. I gotta nail the time the mutas get to my base and move out just before that. Okay, so these 3 lings, the reason why this is really terrible is the lings, what they do is run around the fringes of your base, and they stop SCVs from building things, okay? Now, what that does is it allows the Mutalisks to fly over and punish. So, for instance, right, you're always going to want a turret around your barracks. Like, you're building the 2 extra barracks, you want a turret here, and then what you'll generally do is rally your Marines to that turret, just in case the mutas come in. Because if mutas get on top of your production, for instance, you're going to lose Infinity Marines. Marines can't pop out of bunkers or pop out of barracks and fight mutas, right? So here, let's watch. He'll show you exactly what's going on. So here they go, fringe of the base, right? You don't just go to the mineral line because the SCVs can just kill them. So you go to the fringe, there, stops that from mining. Oh, a Marine, may as well kill it, right? Kill that. Here, you know, I micro back and do as best I can. But still, two lings left. Okay. This is so highly enough. But he's slowed things down a little bit, right? And realistically, I don't think he should have even gone there. I think he should have gone... I think it's... he should have gone over here and delayed this. The thing is, when you're delaying things like turrets being made, right? Like, I don't have a turret being made right here. I would if I wasn't microing against these lings. If the mutas fly in and you don't have this stuff ready, then they keep denying it and they slow it down and slow it down and slow it down. Now, I assumed his mutas were going to fly directly here. So I was like, okay, we're just going to go with the forward group. We're going to head out and figure out what's what. Here we see he's getting ready for that, right? Because my Marines, you know, they didn't ever pop up into here. And you see how his mutas fly down here? I think if my Marines are not here, and he flies over and they're in a more defensive position, I think he cancels this one, and lets this one finish. I think that that's probably how that goes. This matchup's getting pretty fucking complicated. Anyways, that was my idea of moving out with these, because the lings delay everything and the mutas come over and exacerbate all of your problems. I see that things in this game weren't quite as bad as I thought they were after that. But at this point, I'm like, where are my medics? What is going on here? Okay, so let's look back. Looks like I forgot range for a moment, maybe? Am I going to get supply blocked? We'll see in a minute here. Getting my turrets up. My forward marines should be able to keep these things kind of busy. So here, I felt out of control, but actually, this was not as bad as I thought, looking back at this. When his mutas, because again, it's when you're playing against 2H muta, it's a game of threats. You're threatening to kill their third, and they're threatening to be in here and screw you up. So when I saw these mutas, and then I stimmed and ran back, because these units, when he started flying my main, were like over here. The thing is, I wasn't exactly aware of where his third was, and there are 2 based 2-hatch muta all-ins, although they really are poor. They're very, very, very all-in. The third hatch replay is much better that we see here. But if I had moved these towards the bottom right, I would have gotten this hatchery, and this actually would have been a nice game. Like, probably he still wins. I think, again, he's better than me, but that was, I would say that's a mistake. But it looks like he's trying to abuse me up here. And I think what I could have done is rallied all my marines and tried to defend the turret, but build 2 turrets right here immediately. Because then I can pop the marines out here and then fight back to take the barracks, while this group is out killing a third base. The thing is, I did see that he had the 2 sunks, so I knew I couldn't attack here. I don't know if I have scans. I have 1 scan there. I have 1 scan there. Yeah, so this is a more normal third base that they take. Idiots take this as their third base in these positions. This is a good one too, though. So I probably should have just kind of guessed it was over here. But yeah, this is... Wow, I'm learning a lot right now. So here he is. Again, I'm not quite set up here. Those Zerglings did mess me up a bit. Range, not quite done. Oh, that's too bad. Wow. Yeah, I'm really excited to play some TVZ now. Just kind of adding some additional turrets. Yeah, so I was sitting way too far back here. I have no forward group. You can see he's dictating the pace of the game right now. Just kind of harassing with mutas. Yeah, he's losing a muta here and there, but he's not actually all in on the mutas. He's actually teching up into lurkers. So he's ready to transition into a more normal game, and these mutas are doing a beautiful job. I haven't reacted correctly to them. He's picking off a few units here and there, but more importantly, he's keeping me in my base so that he can make the amount of drones that he wants and add the tech that he wants. See, he's still adding a few drones here and there. Of course, adding a few mutas. If the muta flock doesn't continually regenerate, you know immediately as a Terran player that you need to get out on the map because he's spending his gas elsewhere, which would be lurkers, always. So yeah, I'm not... Wow. Good micro. He definitely has good micro, there's no question. Again, not quite the level of Yoon's, in my opinion, but good stuff. Just picking things off left and right. So I've done a couple scans. At this point, I realize that he is going Lurker and going up towards Hive. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I did, right? I started the armory, but before the armory finished, I scanned around and realized, oh, okay, this is the end of his mutas, basically. He's not going to be making any more, so I canceled the armory, because you just simply do not need it. You only want to get the armory if they're staying mutas for a very long time. Otherwise, you don't need the Valkyries. Because if they stop making mutas, your Marines will just deal with them. If they don't stop making mutas, you need Valkyries or, you know, irradiate with vessels, whatever. So yeah, he's getting his lurkers up at this point. Looks completely unbreakable everywhere. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, you can see he's really outdone me at this point. He's going to get a lurker contain up. Yeah, good positioning there. So he knows that I know that these are here, so if I try to walk up that way, he can punish me. I decided to get an add-on to break the lurker contain because you learn the timing over time that I can get 2 tanks out before he can get defilers over here, which means I can force unburrows and I can make space for myself. If they already are going to have the defiler tech before your tanks can force the lurkers out, there's no point in making the tanks. You actually have to try to bust with bio. You're going to see him outplay me in just a moment here pretty drastically. I get really frustrated at this moment coming up here. Still so busy with mutas. So he flies around and he hit the tank once. I'm like, yeah, you want to kill these tanks because you know I can break out. Looks like I maybe misclicked there a little bit. Look at this. Look at this movement. Gets the tank. And then all my units come up to save the tank. Gets the other tank. That's when I knew that I was screwed and that I was going home after this match. Okay, so now I've bought 2 siege tanks and an add-on. Done 0 with it. Okay? Of course, when you're spending all that gas, a radiate is slower and your vessels are slower. Like, you're not making vessels as consistently. So this was bad. The lurkers are right here. I can't break out. It's real bad, guys. Okay, so now you're going to see another massive outplay. Okay, so not 100% sure why he backed up there, but okay. Just reposition. Maybe he feels more comfortable there. Okay, so I'm making some vessels. I'm getting my irradiate. I'm adding barracks here. I know that there is no chance of me getting a 3rd up and winning this game at this point. So I add 2 more barracks because I realize I have to get aggressive immediately. Okay, this part breaks my heart. Watch this. I'm like, okay, we have to go because I know defilers are going to be here really soon. Let's check. Defiler round consume is just finishing. Okay. Here's my epic bust. Ready? Watch this. Okay, I got 1 tank. Because I know the defilers are just about here. Watch. Here we go! I'm gonna bust it! I spent 200 man on this! Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. I wanted to ask him if I looked like a clown, because I certainly felt like a clown. Fucking 2 defense matrix marines doing nothing. My god, that was terrible. That's 2 1/3 less irradiates. 2 2/3 less irradiates. Right there. My god. I was just fucking tooled this game. In a lot of ways, this game looks more one-sided than the game against Yoon, but believe me, it's a different feeling when you're playing it. Okay. So I'm in a lot of trouble here. A lot of trouble. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I guess we'll just keep going. Get my upgrades going, start rotating. He's already on 4 bases. When I see that he already has this base, I'm like, this isn't gonna go well. So I start making drop ships because that's my very last chance, basically, at doing anything in this game. And then the plague goes off and I'm like, oh, it gets worse. Somehow it gets worse. Sometimes when you're behind as Terran, you can just get some miraculous drops off and do a bunch of damage. That was the thought, at least. There's my drop. He already has ultras. Seems fair. Trying to get a base up. Yeah, right. Super, super dead. I actually learned a lot going over this replay, though. Like, I learned some during the game. But, yeah. Anyways, that was a wreck. I got wrecked there. But I hold out hope for Whiteout because I'm doing kind of a cheesy off build a little bit. And here we go, my last game of ACS. Round 2 group. Game 2. Okay. So I already kind of discussed some of the things that went wrong against Yoon here. On this... Wait, where'd that go? What the hell? I'm just hitting control on every button. Arr. Well, I don't know how to get that back, but whatever. Okay, so I already went over some of the mistakes that I made against Yoon here. Remember I mentioned putting the eBay there was a real problem? So here's my move out that you try to force sunkens with. And there they are. Forcing a couple at least. You do generally need 3 sunkens to hold on against this. So that's the first little bit of my pressure. It's whatever. Notice my eBay is up here this time. Get my factory rolling. Yeah, I do a lot better against him than Yoon on this map. So look at how much more wide open this is. I didn't make the depot here. I didn't make the eBay here. Giving myself a lot more circulation. Already picked off a Muta, looking good. What's my range? Get that. So I added a second turret as well. I'm trying to just keep him out of that area. If he gets over the mineral line, I'm really screwed. Oh. Okay, this game wasn't as close as I thought it was. I thought it was actually a pretty close, pretty good game. And actually, it still might be. You'll see when we get to it. I hadn't realized he took this base. I thought I scouted here. I think I forgot about it. I think I end up scouting here. And then eventually I find him taking a base here. But I don't think I realized that he had taken this one. Well, I guess I already got range. Don't do this with your factory. Just put your factory over here. Such a waste. Every time I float my factory against this crap, I regret it. Every time. Doesn't do anything. Just allows their glaives to hit all your crap. Speed it up a little bit. So my defense this time definitely a bit better. Got the 3 turrets here now. I think I should have had this Bioforce instead of standing right there. I think it should have been standing right here. I know that that sounds very little, but the travel distance in time, when the mutas come in, it makes a big, big difference. Stemming them and trying to run them down and around, he'll be over here before you get there. Whereas right here, you're going to punish them when they're like right here. Okay, so the 3 turrets, they do their thing. Adding my 3rd rack, so I'm about to have +1. Get my vessel up. Here, I thought he would go away. So So maybe this was like a little bit lazy. I have plenty of Marines to reinforce to 12. Here I'm fighting with 7 Marines. But I thought he would just turn around because my bio was there. And then he kept not turning around, so then I brought him more. Very annoying stuff. And you get the +1. That actually should tell me really well what his plans are. So yeah, I lost a lot more Marines than I should have during this exchange. A lot more. I should have quite a few more Marines left over. If I had initially brought the full group of 12 up here, that would have helped. Also, this placement's poor, because it's giving me a very thin lane to walk through. If I had a wider lane, it's better. I think my barracks should have been 1 hex over, all my barracks, and then this should have been on top of them, so it should have been this wide of a lane to walk up north. That would have been better. Okay, anyways. I've built up some scans. I can figure out what he's doing here in a minute. Nice free Overlord kill. Yes, so I start the 3rd command because I can tell, I don't know if I had scanned yet already to see that he was going lurker, but I knew that he was because otherwise the mutas will never stop coming in. If they slow down with the mutalist harassment, then they are switching out of the mutas. So this gives me a good opportunity to move out. Oops. Speed this up a little bit. A little bit of roaming going... Excuse me, a little bit of roaming going on here. So I know that he's somewhere over here, most likely. Okay, this part, he does a really great move. That really hurts me. So I see the lurkers, and I stim, and I'm like, okay, let's get those lurkers. This was a big mistake. He picks off a vessel here. That was one of 2 vessels that I'm going to lose early on that I feel like end up costing me this game. Although now that I see that he had this base, maybe I was doomed anyways, but yeah, that was a painful loss. See, I'm planning on getting some tanks now. Yeah. This actually doesn't feel that terrible for me right now. I've got actually decent upgrades. I'm going to have 1-1 here shortly. I have vessels out. I'm going to have my expansion landed. Speed this up a little bit. And again, I thought that he was on 2 base here, but I was scanning around. I was sending some units out here and there. Yeah, you lose a lot of your overall power switching into the lurkers, but it gives you something else. Like, it makes it harder to move around with the Marines in a certain way. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I feel like I did have a window here that was looking alright. Even though he has a really nice amount of supply right now. Alright, so here I've just basically regrouped into 3 groups of Marines. I have 1-1. I have 2 tanks. I have 3 vessels. It should have been 4, but I lost 1. And I was like, okay, we can go. I scanned here because I was originally going to move towards the natural. I saw the Defiler and realized, okay, this is unbreakable. I should go and try to bust expansions. Okay, I saw his army up there, scanned, decided to chase. Lost another very, very important vessel right there. So that's 2 vessels gone. Very hurtful. Because, like, imagine having 2 more vessels here, right? He actually doesn't have that much yet. Like, look, he's got 7 lurkers here. killing one of them with an irradiate right there. Imagine 2 more of those already irradiated. So here I'm trying to break this base. Again, I thought it was his third. And imagine having 2 more vessels here, right? You irradiate both those, and you actually break the space. You actually do. Look at how many Marines I have. It's a lot. It is a serious, serious amount. I've got better upgrades than him as well. I tried to run up past it, and then it was like, oh god, this was a terrible idea. But yeah, a lot of that coming down to losing 2 vessels right there, so I can't quite break this. As soon as I don't break the space, I'm like, ooh. Oh yeah, and I knew he'd start doing Lurker Defiler counterattack, so I started making a lot of fire bats, because in these kind of lower weird economy games, fire bats can actually clear that stuff reasonably well, because it's not that big an army, it's not that many lurkers. I knew that most of his gas was over here. On a ramp. Ah. Well, this is about it. I mean, I got like this group of bio. It's not going to do anything. Sunkens and Ultras, yeah, right. My fire bat force isn't going to do anything there. Yeah, this game did teach me, though, that my #1 priority has to be keeping my vessels alive over everything else. I think other than that, I played this alright, this game. But he was quite strong. I'm sure that even if I was able to somehow take this game, which doesn't look too likely, probably would have just taken me out in Game 3. Alright. So that was it. He went on to the group finals, lost to Yoon. And that was my ACS run. Hope that you guys enjoyed the analysis. Tried to go pretty deep and try to remember what I was thinking in certain situations. I definitely made a lot of mistakes, but getting better. It's a hard game, turns out. Hard game. Thank you all for watching. And both of these will be on YouTube, both of the ACS things. So, yeah, check that out. Alright, that's about it. I will see you nerds tomorrow, where I will practice some good old Brood War.